Oh,
Is this thing on? Hunter, please come to the forge at your earliest convenience. Again, that's Hunter to the forge. Thank you. Strange out.
Fascinating.
5 symbols arranged in a row. The order is probably important. In 1710, I tried to remind myself that 16 is a young age for so much power, but I still lose my temper at times. This child, nearly grown, is rapidly progressing. The training goes well, and I'm optimistic for how we may be able to combat Lilith in the future. But there have been outbursts. If we cannot control these, I do worry that we may face some unfortunate collateral damage. It sounds so harsh to put these words on page, but this is reality that I face. Agatha and I discuss options for controlling this power. Nothing has worked just yet. My latest attempt is to forge a ward to be worn around the neck. If I succeed, it will not only help the child channel this energy, but act as a shield against detection by Lilith or her minions. Only time will tell. Electrical energy erupts around Thor as he wields Jornil. This card represents great courage in taking control of one's destiny.
It is one of the elemental rods.
Embers swirl in this cloudy crystal, almost too hot to touch. Its surface glows like liquid fire. Glyphs of smoke resolve and vanish around a core of obsidian glass. Where are all these rooms? And my room is over here. So whose room is that? Okay. I don't think we've checked the library.
What is this?
Will Walker, son of this land.
Curious.
Yelena Nikovich believed the best and made it so.
Interesting.
Indra Moore, our fighter, our heart.
That is something.
Jeremiah Kane, breaker of chains.
Intriguing.
Oh. Hey, cloak and dagger. Cloak pours from his goblet into daggers, allowing the power between them to retain balance. This card represents harmony and creating something new through combination. I didn't even see that. It's just sitting there. There are numerous haven locations on the Abbey grounds. Once discovered, a haven can be used for a special daytime hangout with a hero, where the friendship rewards are increased. Each haven can only be used once. Each hero can only attend a single haven over the course of the game. What? Okay, I guess that's what's gonna make this replayable, I guess. Oh, you can kind of see what's behind this. So you have to look for these things before. So it's a good idea to just like walk around and discover everything before we proceed. It's kind of hard though because it's so the way that they designed this area, you know, it's just so open. There's no like you can walk down the paths and shit, but then if you don't deviate, you don't find the stuff that you need to find. Oh, I see a card. That's a card. Where am I? Oh, I'm over here right now. Okay. There's another house over here. Abandoned facility. Johnny Storm leaps into the sky and blazes bright, showcasing his exceptional power with extreme control. This card represents an abundance of energy, as well as optimism and joy. I mean, some of these areas are blocked. Where does this take me? Okay, to get to this side. Let me just... Okay, so this is blocked. Can I use words of power? Oops.
The goddess must be busy. The gods are fickle.
Oh, a porta potty? Really? Who stays here? Tony Stark? This is just like a construction area, but there's a car. I like that they put the Shoji screen like in front of the porta potty. Oh, here's another haven. I just opened up because we've been here before, and it just now there's you know, these spots are showing up. The Gurgling Valley. Oh yeah, beautiful.
Posture smiles upon me.
Oh, I can open those doors. Okay.
Noble Oscar guides my hand.
hunter has increased their arcane level, successfully using words of power, exploring the Abbey grounds, and even petting Charlie will grant arcane knowledge, which can increase the hunter's arcane level. At higher arcane levels, the hunter will gain increasingly powerful cards from the Abbey grounds and arcane chests. Okay. Domino knows the way in which the wheel will turn and shows the answer in the playing card she displays. This card represents luck and good fortune, along with opportunity in the future. Oh, I guess only like...
Must not be her purview.
So they have like different symbols. So there's something over there. Put your hands on my waist, do it softly. You never know. Death stands before the black vortex, surrounded by the prized infinity stones, tempting us with possibility. This card represents transformation and entering a new phase of one's life. My favorite days are those with Agatha. She even talks more than Sarah sometimes. But it doesn't feel like a drawing lecture. She's always smiling, and her face lights up when she tells me about all of the plants, trees, and mushrooms that we come across. I never thought I would find myself excited to share the healing properties of moonflowers or dryad saddles. Agatha tells me that one day, knowing these things will come in handy, but for now, it's just fun to learn them. I've said I'm sorry so many times today, I might as well say it here too. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened out there. Agatha and I train at her altar all the time, but something was different. Somehow, this time, I lost control. Agatha could have been hurt, and it would have been my fault. Damn it. I need to figure this stuff out. Caretaker isn't looking at me the same. Agatha makes it look so easy, and I just make everything harder. We'll find a way to draw the elemental energy back to the altar, and we'll try again. We always do. P.S. Somehow I broke the cauldron too. I wasn't even in the library today. Chicken mushroom. Chicken got a taste of your meat, yes. Chicken got a taste of your meat, yes. The peaceful forest. says, God knows I do. Nice. Those graces. She-Hulk proudly holds the scales of justice in one hand and her briefcase in the other, ready to face the courtroom. The card represents justice and fairness, and righting the wrongs of the world. A vessel created by witches to honor the innocent. Taste of your meat, Jay. Come on, 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 come on. Sexy deep, yes.
This looks like a fairy ring.
A fairy ring, oh. The tenants of which child? Seal apothecary vessel. The remains within is still thoroughly protected.
She does not see it happening.
Hermit. Namor wields his trident with power, but remains tranquil in his strength below water. This card represents solitude and finding the answers sought from within one's own self.
Just what I was looking for.
This quartz stone is so light it almost floats. Fluffy white and gray walls conceal a core of rolling thunderclouds, which emit small bursts of light from time to time. are sealed. I know there are a couple more doors with that sign though that I need to open that I've encountered. Exactly had, but I move like the sunset. Gonna paint in that. Says he loves my accent. How these could bend, but I thought it'd be okay.
The goddess of order approves.
You've collected an arcane key. Arcane keys can open the arcane chest scattered around the abbey and its grounds. Chicken's got a taste of your meat, yeah.
She believes in our purpose.
Dreamer's Descent. Agatha always makes me laugh. My aunt is so serious, always. Sometimes I catch her smiling like a little girl, but only when she's with Agatha. With me, she's just serious. The way she looks at me sometimes. I don't think she knows that I see it, but I do. She's afraid. She's afraid that I'm going to be just like my mother.
The goddess disagrees.
Look for arcane chest on the abbey grounds and unlock them with arcane keys. Arcane chests reset periodically, so return to previous open chest to see if you can open them again. The higher your arcane level, the more reward each arcane chest will have. So what's the deal with the keys then? I mean, if once you unlock them, do they need keys anymore? That's the more important question. Blair Witch Project? Caretaker never did like the idea of being idolized in doll form.
Caretaker hardly spoke of him, but I like to imagine my father was a great hero whose spirit protected these woods.
This place is so huge.
Ah, I see.
Symbolic totems, crudely constructed to honor the elder gods.
Curious. What is this?
Full of tips and tricks, the quarterly is a must-have for any foraging enthusiast. Delivery fees apply. Unlock recipes, strength tonic, and common gift. Lilith is no longer the light that she once was. All that remains is darkness. Darkness that wears the face of the woman I once called my mother. I am prepared to lay down my life, for many will perish if I do not act. Only one of us shall walk away from the storm that awaits. It will be me. I can feel it. There are only moments left.
Intriguing.
Unknown grave.
I was always drawn to this place as a child, but somehow I had almost forgotten about it. That is something.
A doll for my father. I spent extra time on this one. So this is her dad's grave.
This rubble looks loose.
Oh yeah?
She does not see it happening.
So we gotta do it some other way. This doll of a maid had never had to leave its family behind. Maybe that's why I made it.
Was I ever really this innocent? Maybe before I started my training.
One of the few works on hedge magic that treats the subject with respect. Moderate attack essence, iron oak, charm. My god, this place is so huge.
This is which sign?
The glyph scrawled in bone chalk. Its meaning are unknown to the witch who wrote it.
Perhaps a witch from the Salem Coven made this.
Today, with the help of my loyal followers, I continued work on the foundations of this house of worship. I knew I was called here to this spot for a reason, and praise be, I have found that reason. This page I have unearthed is no ordinary parchment, but whispers to me, calling me to extend my influence and share these words with the people of this village. When he calls, I will listen, for I am his faithful servant. The page whispers to me, and I weep with joy. It is the most clear example of his hand that I have ever witnessed. That almost looked like a secret room. You know? Almost.
Interesting.
The small headstones honoring Abby's beloved pets, Cleo, cherished companion, who will cheerfully... What? Would cheerfully meow in our hearts forever. It's Agatha's cat. The sunny overlook.
Blessings of the goddess.
The ink and watercolor illustrations almost jump off the page. Minor heroic essence, rare gift.
My old fort. caretaker was furious when she found I had built this. I wonder what she was really afraid of.
The doll was for my mother before things changed.
I never got the chance to truly know my mother, only the monster she became. The standing stones. There is powerful magic at work here.
Gazing out to sea. Jean Grey stands powerfully and summons flames from her palms, holding her stance and waiting for the next move. This card represents instinct and wisdom, with a hint of mystery. The moist glade. Gifted indeed, these recipes look difficult. Arcane cooking for the gifted amateur. Moderate skill essence, rune of aggression.
I need to find the next moon seal.
Oh no. No.
The Great Seer, known as Endra Moore, is buried here. Much like Nico, her powers came dangerously close to crossing the line. But she was among the most loyal of the Midnight Suns.
The people of Salem line up outside, drooling at the chance to be a part of this congregation. I cannot be more pleased with how many seek out the truth within these walls. With the guidance of Chthon and the power within this page, I will set them free. I am the one that has been chosen, and I praise Chthon for granting me this blessing and this power. Yet, where is light? There are those who oppose it. A coven of witches stalks around us, deceiving my flock, and sowing the seeds of distrust. They will be stopped. Chicken. Where did it activate? I don't remember. Because it was also doing that stuttering thing, and I was like, I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so there are like 4 statues. Have I been there before? And only one of the statues actually have the light, the eyes lit up. So it's still not completed, I believe. So I can't do anything about that anyway. But that is it for this area? I think so. This map is huge. Why, I almost missed that. Oh, I can't open this. Oh, these statues.
Ah, I see.
Oh, this is the beginning area. Oh. Every time I pay respect. Oh. I think I've seen more of those though. Like places that I've been.
Another elemental rod.
Barely a stone at all. This blue-black topaz almost seeps through the fingers when held. It smells strongly of a tide pool, and if held to the ear, sounds of the sea. Oh, you can lounge here? Hold on.
I needed that.
Hunter.
Looks like you're off to a good start.
Another new member. We should probably start charging dues.
Hunter, just in time. His royal weirdness and I were deciding what to do with that nasty little Hydra gift box you found.
Ah, yes. The spooky crate.
The very one. Though it is far from any mere container, I assure you. I am detecting powerful emanations from inside. If this is a sign of what Hydra is after, I fear we are all in grave danger.
My offer still stands. I could fly the thing up and nuke it in orbit. Only way to be sure.
Or we could open it, Tony, and perhaps use the mystical energies I sense inside to our advantage.
Yeah, I heard a "we" in there. Green goopy gamma serums are one thing. I'm not opening boxes full of mummy curses.
You don't have to. Hunter, if you'll allow me.
Your second funeral, boss. Caretaker isn't big on the idea of hardwiring this place to an arc reactor. As far as I can tell, power here is distributed mostly via cobwebs and ghost farts anyway. Thanks to the miracle of modern hellfire, we have a near limitless power source that, for whatever reason, burns ice cold. So much for science, right? Keep knocking them dead, Chief. Lilith won't know what hit her.
We desperately need to get into this crate.
Welcome to Tony's Scary Demon Cave. I'm Tony, and how may I assist you today? Another magical mystery box. And to think, I used to design sentient future tech. No peeking now. How does this look? See ya, Hunter.
How many can we bring? 8 abilities. Okay. So how do I get rid of the cards that I don't want?
Whatever artifact is inside, it's better off in our hands. If Hydra is now working to acquire mystical antiquities, then our situation is very dire indeed. We need to find a way to gain the upper hand.
And you think you can do it with whatever is in the container?
Tony has one of the greatest scientific minds that I've ever seen. I, of course, have an unparalleled understanding of the mystic arts. I have no doubt that we can find a way to research whatever we find in there and have it work in our favor. I just wonder what it could be.
I hope the two of you create something powerful. I want to stop Lilith quickly and decisively.
As I said, I'm sure it can help us. I just need to convince Tony to set his ego aside. His discomfort with the esoteric nature of the arcane might be a problem.
But Tony's eccentricities aside, I know you can make this work.
Right now, with the sanctum out of my reach, I'm fighting with one hand tied behind my back. Metaphorically, that is. If I can find items to research, I can give the Midnight Suns every possible advantage over Lilith and her disciples.
I look forward to seeing what you come up with.
Me too, Hunter. Now, all this talk is going nowhere unless we can get this container open and study what's inside.
Approach the anvil, Hunter. We do not have time to spare.
I just hope you brought me something interesting. I can manage this.
By the hoary hosts of Hoggith, I can hardly believe it.
What? Is it worse than you expected?
No, it's totally unexpected. It's the Eternity Dagger. This was in a place of honor in my bedchamber in the Sanctum for years. The Sanctum Sanctorum is no common domicile to be burglared. These barbarians have no idea what they possessed.
Or perhaps they did. Maybe these artifacts are exactly what Faustus and my mother were after to begin with.
A distressing thought. If they had my dagger, then who knows what others of my priceless possessions have passed through their greedy fingers.
The cube of nothingness. The tear of Prophia, most worrisome of all.
Your toothbrush? You, had a little coffee thing going on this morning with your breath?
Oh, Tony.
Sorry. Doc's right, Hunter. I drank 3 glasses of holy water just to walk through the Sanctum's front door. This is like a doomsday vault for all sorts of supernatural nastiness. We need to put a lid on this mess. Pronto.
I believe Carol is already working on it.
At last. Now that this artifact has been returned to its proper owner, we shall see if we can make use of the mystic forces contained within. A simple object, though certainly not useless. It's fortunate that we haven't run into any curses yet.
Research projects take 1 day to complete but grant powerful rewards like room upgrades, combat items, and hero outfits. Okay. Supernatural fabrication. Weaving magic and science is fine in theory, but in practice, well, there isn't much practice. However, if we work together, Tony and I might be able to fabricate some powerful items to help you in combat. Carol says that we need to up our game to meet this new threat. As usual, she's right. To do more in combat, we'll need to do more down here in the Forge. A self-learning AI workstation running endless combat simulation might help us make better use of this coil stuff. Increase ability options and earn additional ability when analyzing our single-use combat item. I don't know about that. So maybe this is the better option.
An intriguing possibility.
Okay.
Hey, Hunter, got a sec to spare?
Oh, he's here.
You moving into the forge, Hunter?
Fascinating.
She just ignored him.
You've been here more in the past few days than I have since ever. The forge is pretty badass, but the creature trapped inside riles up my own inner demon. Speaking of, there's something you should know about me.
You are bonded with the spirit of vengeance.
Damn, you're good. How could you tell?
You are not the first spirit of vengeance to join the Midnight Suns. I fought beside another just a few days... 3 centuries ago.
Oh man, sometimes when I have crap to work through, I like to get my blood pumping. Why don't we hit the yard for a sparring session? I know Sparky's excited to meet you.
Sparky?
That's what I call my spirit of vengeance. His real name is something you'd see written on a symbol, but with like 12 apostrophes. Also, he's not allowed inside after the incident with caretaker Sumerian sofa.
I am the scourge of the Lilin. My name is whispered in fear across the 7 hells. When I fight, I make war, not make-believe, Robbie. Be sure your Sparky is ready to do the same.
Damn, Hunter! You talk the same kind of smack that he does. Okay, let's do this. I'll get Blake to set things up. Won't take a minute.
I will head to the yard. When you and Sparky trade places, what does he look like?
He's the guy with the flaming metal skull and hellfire chains. Kinda hard to miss.
I don't know. I don't like the way this light and dark balance thing works. Because it's kind of hard to play with that, because I don't like some of the options, you know, like.
Ready to get your burn on? I'm talking training with Ghost Rider. Spirits of vengeance train the hardest. If you can beat Carol in a straight fight, I'll let you skip training. Good luck with that. Ready for more? See you around.
Good girl, Charlie. Who's a good girl is my Charlie girl.
The time for punishment is here. Nobody knows exactly what it is you remember, so they'll probably want to hold your hand for a minute. Don't take it personally. Nice to get some fresh air. Hardly any cobwebs or ghosts out here. Like playing with fire, huh?
Maybe you should be the spirit of vengeance.
So you don't even get to see. Oh, you can edit the photo. What's going on? This is all messed up right now. Oh, it isn't. Oh, right in the crotch. No. Oh, God. it's stuck. Oh god damn. Might have to try out the skip launcher thing that they have on Steam. Oh god. Because this is ridiculous. It's the simplest thing too, but because it's using the actual 3D in-game graphics to pose them like that, for some reason it messed up with the game. Dear God. Let me see if I can fix this. Okay, looks like it's back on. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing this. Now I can, yeah, now it looks like the engine is fine now. But everything is saved for the postcards. Okay, nice.
Hunter, report to the war room. We've got a mission.
Alright, let me just relaunch the game. Hopefully it will help with these freezes. Because I know somebody mentioned something about not launching the game using the launcher. The 2K launcher helps something with the stutter. So I'm gonna try that out. Races, cases of the guy chases, chasing me all over town. Cause you know I'm wasted, facing time again the right place, I don't even know I'm good. My old man is a bad man, but okay, let's try it. It's funny, like the two things, the logo screens are epic, and the one after it is all like never plays properly. No, it doesn't make a difference, looks like. It's just this map. There's here he goes lightning around. Oh god. Yeah, the way it loads for this map is something else. We might have to just reduce the resolution for now. But that doesn't even help though. But let's see. Let's just do that. Like there's something going on with that map, with this map. It's quite strange.
Hi, kiddo. Regardless of what Mr. Stark thinks, the mirror table was guiding our hand reliably for centuries before the advent of computers.
You called for me, Captain?
Keep telling ya, Carol works too, but yeah, I did. Now that Tony's finally starting to get a handle on his gremlin problem, I've been able to put Central to good use. Got a lead on some particularly gnarly Hydra operations happening in the city, but we need to move fast if we want to intercept them in time.
Then let us get going.
My thoughts exactly. There's just one problem though. We seem to have lost our gatekeeper, Magic.
Lost?
Well, I updated her on the mission. She said something I can only assume to be a prolific swear word in Russian and disappeared. Literally. And with no magic...
There is no passage to New York, or anywhere for that matter.
Now you see my problem.
Every second we delay is a victory for Lilith. I have little patience for child's games in the midst of our war.
No argument there. Look, I don't know if you've noticed it, but she seems to like you. I've known Magic just about as long as you have, and all I've gotten from her is a few grunts and words I'm afraid to translate. Maybe you'll do better.
Fine. I will retrieve her.
Well, when you phrase it like that, I'm sure she'll just be begging to help. Good luck, Hunter.
I shall return shortly.
Fingers crossed.
Where the fuck would she be?
Not much more I can tell you, Hunter. Though I did hear her mutter something about Wanda right before she poofed away. Maybe that helps.
Thanks, Captain. I shall find her.
If you've come to ask me where Magic is, the answer is I don't know. She doesn't talk to me very much anymore. She blames me for Wanda. I fear if she doesn't let her go, it will cost us all. Go find her and talk some sense into her, will you? We don't have much time. Go find her and talk some sense into her, will you? We don't have much time.
Where the fuck would she be? Oh. She's in her fucking room and they couldn't find her. Come on
Fine,
now.
speak.
Why is it so pixelated? Oh, there it is. It took a while for him to... Wow. Dang. Wait, they're using Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine has this weird thing with loading up textures, but even though it's been pretty good, this is the first time where the texture doesn't load up immediately. I'm sure that she would enjoy this. Yeah, she would enjoy this one. I'm sure of it.
That looks good.
Hunter?
This room belonged to the Scarlet Witch, did it not?
Wanda. It belongs to Wanda. Let me guess. You are to ask me to do the one thing the others value me for. Opening their precious portal. Well, I am in the middle of something. Come back later.
It is never easy to lose a comrade. I know this too well.
We did not lose Wanda. We let her go. Before any of this started. Wanda's first grimoire. Agatha gave it to her when she was teaching her witchcraft, the dark arts. She was trying to help Wanda control her powers. She would never let me read it. So now I read it.
That is no child's book. Lose focus for 1 second and be lost completely within its pages. Let me guide you through it.
You do not own the darkness, Hunter. I was also raised within it. So much so I barely remember a time without it. And now Wanda has this in common with us too. I know what she's going through. To come face to face with true evil itself. To be dragged to some hell dimension so hot that your soul is scorched black. Your heart so filled with soot that it chokes out all the bright parts of you. Until you are just a dark thing of smoke and ash. I cannot let such a fate happen to her.
Yeah, exactly.
Then put the damn book down and help me get her back.
You are nothing if not direct. Not to mention unrelenting. I can respect that. And perhaps you are not entirely incorrect. Okay, I will open your damn portal. It is times such as this that I wish someone else here could drill holes through space and time. Perhaps Doctor Strange should spend less time tinkering with Tony Stark in the Forge and focus more on his magic. No matter. I will be there when you are ready, Hunter. Goodbye. Well met. Yes? looking stronger than ever, kiddo. You'll be back to your old self in no time, kiddo.
I take it you found our gatekeeper. Then let me explain what's going on. When Hydra isn't preoccupied with world-ending scenarios, they spend a lot of their free time terrorizing the citizens of New York through various low-level operations. It's fairly routine stuff for heroes these days, and worst case, we'll still get some fresh intel in the process. Why don't you check the mirror table and see what we've got on our plate?
Hydra helicopters loading critical supplies down by the docks. The heroes must make it sure that it never gets airborne. Ghost Rider earned a combat bonus from sparring with the Hunter. Add him to the squad to earn a powerful boost at the start of the next mission. Oh. Okay. It's cute.
I did the math. It would actually be faster for me to fly.
So what is stopping you?
The shockwave would shatter most of the glass in my approach path.
Ah, that is not good.
Yeah, I try to be considerate. Looks like you're off to a good start.
There's no escape for the wicked. Judgment is on its way.
Step through portal.
We're sending you straight to the coordinates Captain Marvel identified in New York. Dr. Banner has confirmed that the gamma signatures in the area match those of Faustus's weapon. We need to recover whatever intel we can if we're going to find out exactly what's going on down there. Looks like Captain Marvel was right on the... heroes.
Oh no! I hate it when they do that. Okay.
Satiate your appetite for destruction. You insist on meddling further, forcing our hand yet again.
Oh, that's just lovely. Faustus has a radio. I'm assuming whatever Hydra is attempting to flee with on that chopper is our target. I suggest we stop it and see for ourselves.
It's like they just don't know how to program that, you know. Like if someone's talking, just chill, you know. If we do something in the game that's gonna trigger another conversation that's gonna cancel out the previous conversation, I'd rather that the game, you know, stop me from doing anything until that conversation is over, so that when I, you know, do something else, then the next conversation comes in. You know, they gotta be better about being able to do that. 4 turns? You serious?
It is all coming back to me.
This is hard.
You have been judged.
This has your name on it!
What sort of being are you?
Let's do it!
We have the upper hand. Your suffering grows with every strike. I've been waiting for this.
You don't know who you're messing with.
My God.
You don't even know what it is you're pursuing. The Gamma Disruptor you so narrowly escaped with in our last encounter was only the beginning.
Show yourself to me, Faustus, and I will open more than your eyes.
Such ferocious spirit. You truly are your mother's child, Hunter.
I'm impressed. As a child, I feared the servants of Lilith. Now I teach them to fear.
Ready up!
We're hardly doing damage to that
Think
thing.
after 80 years of failure, Hydra would throw in the towel already.
We serve
till the end. Vengeance fears no one. Follow my lead.
You will have to do better than that.
Reinforcements on approach.
We're getting overwhelmed.
Hydra! The last thing we need is for that pompous buffoon to win today. Stop that chopper, please.
Kill.
It's about time.
Is that the best you've got?
Your time has come.
Nice move.
You've grounded the helicopter. Excellent. Now you'll need to clean up the rest of Hydra's forces.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard.
Whatever gets the job done.
One more time.
Movement here.
Fuck.
Hydra.
Wow.
More Hydra.
I have to admire your persistence.
You're ready now. Our loyal soldiers aren't the simple punching bags you've come to expect, are they? Somehow these humans, these mere mortals, dare to stand against ye fearsome gods. All is possible with Mother!
The light will carry you onward.
You have my thanks.
shit. When Ghost Rider KOs a number of enemies and fails soul meter, you will draw a copy of Drain Souls. Increase friendship with Ghost Rider to improve this passive.
Still not gonna be enough.
Well done. Seems like that's the last of them.
Last. There are more heads to the Hydra than you will ever comprehend, heroes. This is a minor setback at most.
Well, at least we don't have to listen to you any longer today. I consider that alone a victory. Well done. If Hydra wasn't paying attention before, they are now. Stay sharp.
Count on it.
Sabretooth. Mission rewards are tied to hero level, so as the hunter gains levels in combat, the rewards offered on future missions will improve. Don't worry about leveling every hero. As the hunter level increases, any weaker heroes will automatically level up so they don't fall behind. Far behind. At higher difficulty levels, all heroes level up faster, granting access to higher rarity rewards sooner. Ileana, were you walking the Abbey grounds late last night? Yeah. Weird. I saw a strange light out of my window. We're the only ones here who have our own underglow, so I figured it was you. Maybe Carol was out for a moonlight stroll? No way. Captain Marvel isn't a soft glow. She's a portable sun. Also, you can't take a moonlight stroll during a new moon. Just witchy things. Nerd. Says the man who named his katana. Keep pushing me and I'll share it with Blade Facts. It's funny. Ew. Dang. Classic. He can mess around with that, whichever one he wants to use. Okay. $75 for that silver. It's crazy. Oh. A few heroes are available to hang out with. The hunter in the common room. Engage in the hangout to grow the hunter's friendship with the hero of your choice. So who are our options?
Well met, Hunter. It's almost a shame we have to waste your talents on Hydra, but I suppose if we don't dispose of him, no one will. In any case, impressive work, Hunter.
Ah, Hunter, another successful operation against the forces of evil, I see.
He's eating grapes.
Hey, for someone they just dug up, you look pretty fresh. It's good to punch Hydra in the face, but they feel like a red herring. Okay, a black and red herring, but still. In school, they never taught us about Hydra's role in World War II. Do you think modern Hydra made sure of that? Where does Hydra find so many troopers? There's no hiring app for goons. But if there was, I'd call it a goober. I get why they named themselves Hydra. If you're all about insidious corruption, no one will take you seriously if you're called bedbugs or black mold. I hope you knock some sense into those troopers. Gig economy or not, Hydra is no way to pay the bills. It's good to punch Hydra in the face, but they feel like a red herring. Okay, a black and red herring, but still.
Nothing like taking in the New York skyline after driving Hydra back into hiding.
I remember when I used to go out on these missions myself. At least I can always rely on you to get the job done.
Man, that was a hell of a ride, partner.
Because of the chin hair, I will not hang out with you.
Technically, it's Roberto. But you can call me Robbie. Everybody else does. Man, I just wish I could have brought my brother Gabe along. He'd love this place. Sorry if I went a little heavy on the aftershave, but it's not easy covering up sulfur, you know?
Aftershave? Why didn't you shave your stupid fucking chin hair?
Man, I just wish I could have brought my brother Gabe along. He'd love this place.
They're not always glamorous, but these missions are still crucial to stopping Lilith. Sometimes these support missions are more important than they seem. Not always, but sometimes. If we're moving forward, that can only mean Lilith is falling back. Hydra or Lilith's monsters, they're both good practice at least. You have to wonder whether Lilith is just using Hydra to keep us busy. Sometimes it feels like they're only around to get stomped. They're not always
Man, I think they got the hell right on one of those traffic cams.
It's nice of Hydra to provide all these free sparring partners for you. If they were smart, they'd start charging for these sessions. Hydra probably thought they were going to do okay this time, until they ran into you. You keep this up, you're going to be on Hydra's hit list. Not that it really scares anybody. I think we're all on it, actually. It may not always seem like it, but these cleanup operations are important for morale. For us and the people living in New York. Even the small victories are good for your image. And that's a big deal here in the future. It's nice of Hydra to provide all these free sparring partners for you. If they were smart, they'd start charging for these sessions.
Can't hurt to warm up on Hydra's flunkies. You've got an endless supply of practice dummies to beat on. You might feel like you need to hold back in training, but I'm glad you're not taking it easy on Hydra. Any sign of arms, Zeta? They're supposed to be Hydra's special project squad. Just think of Hydra as a training tool, one you don't have to worry about running into the ground. Hydra's got all kinds of disposable heroes just waiting to make a name for themselves. Too bad they ran into you. Can't hurt to warm up on Hydra's flunkies. You've got an endless supply of practice dummies to beat on.
Okay, I would have hung out with Robbie, but this chin hair is a definite no-no. So it's between Blade and Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is pretty powerful, but I'm not a fan of that hair. I like Captain Marvel with long hair. So a Blade then maybe? I don't know. I guess it would have to be Captain Marvel.
We stole their thunder and their morale.
Fishing? See, I knew there was like a fishing thing going on. Playing video games? Oh, I want to do that. But the chin hair is gonna tickle me. Reading by the fire, pool lounging.
Hey.
He likes fishing, that's funny. Alright, we're gonna go stargazing with Captain Marvel.
When this is over, we should go skiing.
The two of us?
Oh, I meant the whole team, but sure. Either works for me.
Why ski when you can fly?
I'm not just my powers hunter. Sometimes I like to take it slow, just roll with the mountainside. Don't you?
Oh, I will try skiing if you do not mind teaching me.
That's the spirit. Maybe ski instructor is my backup career. We'll start on the bunny slopes. I'll teach you pizza and french fries. There'll be a thermos of hot cocoa waiting for you.
I do not want to hold you back.
Oh, you're fine. We'll take it at your pace. I enjoy slowing down, remember? We're doing this again. Make plans.
So she got a new outfit that has to be purchased first.
They don't all need to be battles against some infamous demonic threat. Sometimes a nice straight fight.
Well, I like that they update the picture of your character after you customize. Every time you customize your character, it's pretty impressive. I mean, the work that they've done with this game, except for the whole voiceover overlapping thing, which is, you know, it's an easy remedy too. I guess they're expecting that, you know, whenever you hear somebody talking, you don't move. But yeah, I mean, you gotta understand that players sometimes, you know, we're fidgety. You just want to start moving stuff around, or start walking or whatever, you know. Other than that, this game has high level of polish. There's some weird graphical thing going on with this map though, with this this huge headquarter that you have. It's like every time you load onto this map, sometimes it struggles actually to load everything up. See, that's the funny thing about, you know, like even though it has access to an SSD, everything's supposed to just work fine, you know, but it seems like there's some issues. Well, I wonder if it has something to do with the Unreal Engine. because sometimes, you know, they're using the latest Unreal Engine, which I have seen games that use the latest Unreal Engine, and they're still having issues with loading up textures. Because I think the stuttering or the the low FPS usually happens like when the game's trying to load up characters or environment too fast on this map, and then it starts happening until it stabilizes. So and then the launch skipping technique, it doesn't seem to help, so I don't think that matters. But yeah, like little things like updating your character's profile picture after you've, you know, like I've just put the headband on and now she's wearing the headband in the picture. That's pretty impressive. You know, little things like that. Ugh, looks so bad. Yeah, I think they got lazy with this, a little lazy with this daily outfit though. I think they're trying to make them, like I said, unisex. I'm not sure if the male characters actually, if the male character would wear the same thing. And the body posture, I guess it's probably also the same for the male-female characters version. Like they would have the same posture. I don't know. I guess our second playthrough we'll play as a male character. Oh, I see the symbol. Okay.
I'm glad to see you're getting comfortable with the words of power, Hunter. If you're going to continue our little investigation of the Abbey, they'll be vital to your success. Investigation? A side project, but a potentially transformative one. With my blessing, Wanda was working to uncover what may be the most powerful.
Just what in the hell do you think you're doing in here?
Standing in the library?
I've given you free rein so you could get back on your feet. But I never thought you'd pull something like this.
What is it you think I am doing, exactly?
Don't be coy. It does not suit you. I told you how hard it's been since we lost Agatha. Instead of letting it rest, you decide to reopen the wound?
Oh, Sarah. I never thought of this place like that.
Of course you didn't. And now, it's done. Why should I ever stand in your way?
Drama.
That anger wasn't meant for you, dear. You know that, right? Don't hold it against Sarah. She may try to mask her feelings, but you know she is struggling with what happened. Why are you hiding from her? For most people, the captivating relationships of their lives are formed over a matter of days and years. Sarah and I spent centuries together exploring this world, fighting the darkness, watching cities and even nations form and then crumble. And yet we persevered together. You still have not answered my question. It may be difficult to understand, but she needs this time. Sending Wanda away, sealing the library, that elaborate memorial she conjured up, she didn't waste any time trying to bury what happened. You are right. I do not understand. It isn't up to me to reveal myself. It's up to her to accept what happened and allow herself to grieve. When that happens, we'll see each other again, but not before. I trust you will do what is right for Sarah. So, what is it you are looking at here?
Yes, we should get back to the real reason I asked you to meet me here. Wanda's journal. The Abbey grounds have a great deal of history. Many of its secrets remain hidden, even after all this time.
Even to you?
Even to me. Wanda had taken to exploring the grounds in search of a strange energy we both sensed. Knowing that Sarah had no intention of waking you to investigate, Wanda felt it was up to her to take your place. Of course, being the clever girl that she is, her notes are written in an ancient, transient cipher that I've only just begun to understand. Have a look at the first entry.
We will do that when I come back. Let me just check around the room real quick. My appreciation and adoration for Agatha has left me vulnerable to feelings I have not known for centuries. I want her by my side, and I wish for her to join me for what we will be facing in the coming years. Are they like lesbian lovers? Though I admit that it may be selfish of me to share these risks. I find myself in the very position I once criticized and judged Lilith for, and it brings me shame. As blood descendants, we were not meant to bring children into this world and love another as she did, as I love Agatha. What? We were not meant to bring children into this world or love another as she did, as I love Agatha. Was I wrong to judge Lilith so harshly, or am I wrong now? It is hard to face. I have found myself wanting to be with Agatha, just as Lilith felt with Gregor and their child. So they are lesbian lovers. To have a family, to love and be loved by another. Lesbian lovers. What is that? It looks like a contract. Haunted Echoes, a collection of transient folk songs. The Woodsman's Lament. And round she danced, the woodman's wife, as the Fey King played his lyre, and at her feet the rings revealed a cold and lifeless fire. Oh, dance for me, the king cried he, as her sight grew dark and dim. The woodman's wife, though you may be, you'll never return to him.
There's something you need to read.
Who or what are the blood?
You said something earlier about the blood.
In a world full of mysteries, the blood have managed to remain even more mysterious than most. They were an ancient race, said to be born of the elder gods. As I understand it, they were very strict about maintaining their bloodline. That's probably why you don't hear about them very often. And yet, here you are, one of their direct descendants.
Are there others?
It's quite possible. But even if there are, they might not even know it themselves. Somehow, I take comfort in that.
What they do not know cannot hurt them.
Indeed.
After our last battle, what happened to Lilith?
You were in the woods. You and your mother obviously came to blows. But we found no wounds, no evidence of what happened at all. A silent, deathly embrace between mother and child. We had hoped you would both find peace in the next life.
But she's not buried here?
No. We entrusted her to the Knights of Wundagore, the ancient protectors of your ancestral homeland in Transia. I don't think they ever expected to contend with an organization like Hydra, and I doubt Lilith spared any who survived her reawakening.
Okay. Why is there a... She has a quest? Is that what that means? So maybe we should check with her first before we do anything else. Well, let me just do that real quick. Wasn't she here? Yep.
The library radiates that fresh spell battle aura. Makes for an ideal reading nook.
Feeling a chill, Magic?
You could say that. I've been staring at the night sky trying to figure it out.
Figure what out?
You're observant, Hunter. You tell me.
I'm not a mind reader, Magic. Speak plain.
You know, Hunter, one of the things I like about you is your intolerance for bull. Even from me.
Stop speaking in riddles and just tell me what is on your mind.
It is not what's on my mind I'm worried about.
What worries you then?
When I was holding the trans-dimensional door for you back there, I sensed something was at the docks with you. Something dark and familiar.
What did you see, Ileana?
I did not see, I said. I sensed something there. But that's not the only thing I sensed today.
Oh?
Something has shifted in Limbo, but I cannot quite put my finger on it. All I know is that whatever is happening is also strangely familiar to me. And when all you knew was darkness and despair growing up, that warm, fuzzy feeling of familiarity is not just a warning sign, but an alarm bell.
I know what you mean. Danger is something I am a little too comfortable with myself. Reminds me of my mother. There is almost a comfort in it.
Yes, you understand. Not many can. I'd like to be left to my thoughts now, Hunter. I still have a lot of thinking to do, while I try to make sense of what I felt at the docks and the energetic shifts that ripple through Limbo. I will let you know if I do. Is it me, or does anyone else feel some of Wanda's spiritual essence clinging to the tomes? It smells like fire and lies, with a hint of wormwood, kind of like that transient stew she cooks. On the bright side, Agatha's not here to shush us for being too loud. Yes?
Okay, save here.